So we got into camp pretty late last night. If you guys watched any of our videos we put up yesterday, you knew we were traveling out and about. And we got back to camp pretty late. It was getting dark. And if anybody has ever camped before, and you know how, and especially if it's a new campground, new campsite you've never been to before, when it's dark, it makes things a little bit more difficult to find your spot and get set up. And in the middle of that, I received a phone call, and it was from a phone number I didn't know. And it's kind of weird because I got this app on my phone. I don't know, I don't even remember what it's called, but basically it's like a automatic caller ID, and it tries to figure out who's calling first. And it said spam risk, so I just ignored it. But it's kind of weird because I've had spam risk before, or labeled as spam risk before, and find out that they weren't actually spam. So I don't know why it labels it spam risk, but I ignored it because I'm getting set up. We got to black out the windows. We got to set up the water. We got to set up the power. You can see right there. That's the 30 amp that plugs into the van, so that we don't have to use the battery power while we're parked. And I ignored it, and we're getting ready to start making dinner, and we were going to hit the showers before that. And then I get a text message from the same random number. And it says, Kevin, this is an emergency. I need your help. Call me. All right. So now I'm already like extra skeptical. Like, been down this road before. And, we're trying to reach you about your car warranty or some crazy nonsense like that. So anyway, I ignored. Hate to be rude or anything like that, but it's just today you get so much BS garbage. You can sign up for a brand new cell phone. You get a brand new iPhone, and whatever service it is, AT&T, Verizon, it doesn't matter. And immediately you'll start getting spam phone calls and texts. It's ridiculous. So a little bit of skepticism. I made up that word, skepticalism. That ain't a real word. So a little bit of skepticism caused me just to ignore it and move on. So anyway, we continue on. We get done with the showers, which I met interesting couple. Not like that, and didn't meet them like that, but we were talking to a couple, a man and a woman. They were from Portland, Oregon. They actually left their RV in Arizona, and they're here in Wyoming, just camping out of their car. And they were telling us about how they were going to be able to basically live rent free from now until September. And they could live rent free after September almost indefinitely. But right now, they only had places set up to live for free. I'm not talking about like homeless shelters or anything like that. I'm talking about like really nice places, homes, houses, condos, apartments, like, and they had this set up where they don't have to pay to for rent until September. And they said that they've been doing this since April. And so you think April, May, June, July, or let's just say June. So 3 months. So in 3 months, they were able to book July, August, September. So they should be able to use July, August, September to book October, November, December and keep it rolling to some crazy life hack that I had no idea even existed on how to live rent free. So we were talking to them, and as I'm talking to them, I get another phone call. I'm like, this is ridiculous. So I didn't want to be super rude to them because we were having this conversation and they were sharing this information with me on how to use this hack. And so I ignored the call. I just let it go to voicemail. And they left a voicemail this time. So when we got done with them, we came back here. We start cooking. And actually, it wasn't really cooking. We were just eating leftovers because we ate at the restaurant at Grand Teton when we first got here. And it was okay, but we had some food left over. and we wanted to eat it. We didn't want it to go to waste. And also, we don't have a lot of space in the van. So the more that we can eat, instead of making more, the better we are with maximizing the space and using the space more efficiently and not wasting food. So we just warmed that up and ate that. And so I checked the voicemail while I was eating, and this is my buddy Jeremy. And it was really weird because I was like, why is he calling me from a brand new number or a number I didn't have saved in my phone? Well, turns out Jeremy had his car stolen. Okay, well, he has his car stolen. What does that have to do with his phone number? Well, in his car was his cell phone and his wallet, and also, unfortunately, his firearm. Now, a little backstory on the firearm. Y'all need to watch my last video that I put up, preparing for survival, and I put up a video yesterday. Check it out. I was not saying that I disagree with constitutional carry. And I was not saying that I have any objections to the Supreme Court and their rulings. I didn't say that. Well, what I did say was I found it mighty odd, and this is actually going to tie into the rest of the video. I found it mighty odd why they would choose to overturn certain rulings and make adjustments to certain laws now. That's what I said. Now, when they could have done it before. They could do it later, but instead they do it now when tension is at its highest point, near its highest point that we know. And they will continue to rise as things continuously happen. And that's what I was saying. So check out that video, rewatch it. If you have, and if you haven't watched it, watch it. I was not objecting, I actually didn't even take a side or a stance or position. What I was saying was there's some things going on, ironically, at a time, coincidentally, altogether, that I found sort of sus. So anyway, so he had his firearm in his car. He had his wallet in his car. Jeremy had his wallet in his car, firearm in his car, and his cell phone in his car, and it was stolen. And and the crazy part is he doesn't live in like a bad neighborhood, and so he was able to get to another phone. I think he might have just went out and borrowed his wife's phone because I didn't have her number. Sorry, there's mosquitoes everywhere. I didn't have her number saved in my phone. And so he calls me, he texts me, leaves a voicemail. It's an emergency, call me. So now that I know that it's him on the voicemail, I'm like a little freaked out. But he's in a panic, okay, because he was not prepared for this. I don't think anybody's really prepared to have their car stolen, but he really wasn't prepared for it. And honestly, he called me because the first thing he said was, and honestly, before he even started talking, I'm like, oh God, here we go. I thought he was going to call me and tell me something crazy about these Georgia Guidestones Georgia Guidestone bombing, or lightning strike. I don't even know which one it is, but I've been receiving a lot of emails and reports on this Georgia Guidestone thing nonsense, particularly for the fact that I'm from Georgia, and I'm from New York, but mostly from Georgia. And I thought he was going to be calling me like, Kevin, you got to see these Georgia Guidestones. You got to come back and check this out. They blew this thing up. I thought that's what he was going to call me about, but no, that wasn't it. He's like, yo, they stole my car. I'm like, who? He's like, I don't know, but somebody stole my car. They got all my stuff in it. And like I said, he wasn't prepared for this. And the reason why I wasn't prepared is because I've been telling him for the longest, for years. We've been having these conversations. We've been, all the time. He would come and say, Kev, what do I need to do to get, to make more money, And I'm like, you're going to have to first spend less money. But that's neither here nor there. And then he's like, well, Kevin, I would love to go and get a house. I'd love to go and get a boat and I want to do all this stuff. And, he's like, but, I don't have a good credit. And we talked about credit. We talked about credit for the longest on how to fix credit, repair credit. And and get his credit scores up so that he would qualify for loans and he would be able to use, especially a year or two ago, use low interest rates to his advantage to buy some of these things that he wanted. And he in one ear out the other. We would talk about stocks, we would talk about stock market and investing, just like opening up like a brokerage account like M1 or Webull or Robinhood or Fidelity or any of these apps that are on your phone. I think even Bank of America does it through Merrill Lynch, and just investing some here and there, here and there, here and there. Now, granted, we are seeing a little bit of a decline in the stock market, but it wasn't to 100% invest all of his money into the stock market. It was just, diversification of his portfolio to have investments in stocks. We talked about crypto. I don't know a lot about crypto, so I don't mess with crypto. Bitcoin, Ethereum, Ripple, XRP, Dogecoin. I don't know a lot about those. So I avoid them. Granted, I do have a little bit of money in crypto just because I just put a little bit of money in there from my Robinhood app just because it's so easy and what's it going to hurt? But nothing that I'm concerned about, or if I lose completely, I even care about. And, we talk about these things all the time. And at the end of the day, he was not prepared. And, he was like, they stole my car and they got all my stuff. And, it kind of sucks. But the biggest problem he's got is the fact that now he doesn't know how he's going to get another car. That's the biggest problem. He doesn't know how he's going to get in the car. Not because he can't get a car, because of the chip shortages and semiconductor shortages that everybody's dealing with. Also, not because of the high prices. Because, he could probably manage that a little bit. The car, like the average car price now is like $44,000. Where, and that's gas powered. Electric average car price has gone up to $54,000. So the electric cars are becoming more expensive than gas cars. But gas cars are becoming more expensive to drive than electric cars. So who knows what's the best thing to do? But the car prices are going up. The shortages are out there, so it's kind of hard to get good ones. And then the used ones that are out there, you're not getting a good deal on them. And then the new ones, dealers are marking them up crazy sky high. So you're still not getting a good deal on them, but at least you're not getting a piece of junk. You're getting a new car with a warranty. So anyway, you got to make the choice. But the biggest problem he's got is his credit. Biggest problem he's got is his credit. Not only are the interest rates higher, so any money he borrows to finance a car is going to be more expensive to borrow. But he didn't prepare based on the things that we've been talking about for years. For years. Where he's now in this situation. Yeah, sure. He had full coverage. Sure. Once the report's done and if they don't recover it, now maybe they recover it. He gets it back. But who knows what condition it would be in when he got it back. But if it ends up being a total loss and the insurance pays out the claim, whether or not he's got gap insurance or not, if he needs it, I don't know. But then, there's not a lot of money in it to just say, all right, I'll take the insurance money. It wasn't like paid off or anything. I'll take the insurance money and just go buy another car cash. No, he really is going to have to either save up a bunch of money, which is going to be hard to do without a car, which was his primary mode of transportation to get him to and from work and make money to be able to save the money. But his options are buy a car cash or finance one. But he wasn't prepared for somebody to steal it. I don't blame him on that one. He isn't prepared to replace it financially as a result of financing a car. And I don't even know if his insurance is going to go up or not. Insurance has already been going up for many reasons. Hopefully they don't hold this against him on his insurance, on his car insurance. Because this is nothing that he could have prevented really, unless he just guarded his car 24 hours a day. But at the end of the day, he was not prepared for what he's facing, for the simple fact that he didn't do what he was supposed to do weeks ago, months ago, years ago, despite having someone to talk to and coach him and help him. doing the same things. So it's not like, hey, do this, that, and the other, and then I go do something completely different. No, we're doing the same thing. So it's like a little group effort, hold a little bit of accountability for one another, have fun, talk about how much your credit score went up, talk about how much you got in savings, talk about how well your portfolio is doing with the stocks and investments. And this isn't not investing in silver and gold. That's a whole different story. I know a lot of people like to invest in silver and gold, but I just want to get him started on some basics, some stocks, some growth stocks, some dividend paying stocks, and just get him set up to start seeing some residual passive income from his investments and start seeing like the power of it. But basically, at the end of the day, it boils down to he wasn't ready. And I had to tell him. I hate to say it, but like I had to tell him, like, look, dude, I told you this was going to happen. I told you. I didn't tell him it was going to happen like somebody's going to come steal his car. But I told him if he keeps messing around, he's going to find himself in a situation, in a jam, and he's going to look back and wish he did things before he got into that jam. It's just like I said, he's got insurance on it. Thank God. But you don't want to be in a situation where, oh man, they stole my car. I told him I wrecked my car, and you don't have insurance. Then you try to go get insurance. Like, it don't work like that. You got to plan ahead. You got to be prepared. And it's just ironic that it happened yesterday, and he was hitting me up about these or not about the Guidestones. I thought that's what he was calling about, was the Guidestones. But honestly, I've never been to the Guidestones. I don't know anything about the Guidestones. And was it ironic? Which is, what I was talking about with the Supreme Court in my last video. Check it out. Ironic that what happened when it happened, coincidentally at this time. You see what I'm saying? All the things going on, of all the reasons to, have all not all this craziness going on top of. There's so many mosquitoes out here. Can y'all see them? On top of, I got this bracelet. I need to put this bracelet on. It's supposed to keep the mosquitoes away, so I need to go ahead and do that. These jokers actually bit me through this sweater yesterday. It's crazy. But all this nonsense going on. So CERN opens up a portal to a black hole universe, outer space. I don't even know what's going on with CERN. Supreme Court and their craziness, food shortages, crazy high gas prices. Diesel here is it's over $6 a gallon here in the park. Outside, we went to Jackson Hole yesterday. It was like $5.89, I think. But as we approach California, we've already heard that gas is like almost $10 a gallon in certain parts of California. So we'll see what the diesel prices look like when we get there. But with all this nonsense and craziness going on coincidentally at the same time, and then there's some time capsule found and located at this Guidestone thing, I just find it really strange, really odd of what's going on. Maybe it has nothing. It's unrelated. There's no strange coincidence whatsoever. But that's what I was talking about in my last video, was the ironic and the eerie fact that all this is going on now. And on top of that, the GBI, Georgia Bureau of Investigation, decided to go ahead and demolish and destroy the rest of the Guidestones for safety reasons after the explosion. Before a full investigation, they just destroyed it. I don't know. Look, all I'm saying is don't wind up like Jeremy. And Jeremy is my friend, and I'm gonna coach him through and try to help him along and show him some ways and try to help find him a car and teach and just make sure he's good with getting all his stuff straight and reporting the firearm theft. Side note, track all your firearm serial numbers if you haven't already, just in case there is a firearm theft or anything like that. You want to track the serial numbers and report them stolen immediately. So I'm gonna work with him and make sure he's good to go as best I can. I can't buy him a car or co-sign on a car with him. Sure, I could, but I'm not. Like, that's not how this works. But hopefully moving forward from here, he's going to better prepare for the future. Unfortunately, sometimes you got to feel the pain in order to realize that you don't want it to happen to you again. Like, as kids, your parents say, "Hey, don't touch that. It's hot." And what do? You touch it, you burn yourself, and then you realize it's hot. You don't ever do it again. But unfortunately, most kids don't listen first when they parents say it's hot. They want to know what hot means. I don't want you guys to know what failure means. I don't want you guys to know what pain means. I don't want you guys to know what being unprepared means. So do your best now to be prepared for whatever could be coming tomorrow, even if it is like credit, money and savings, being in the position to, because if you lose your car, your truck, your main source of transportation, how do you make it to work? How do you get your kids to school? If you do need to take them to school, like how do you get to the doctor's appointments and things like that? And, think about it. If it were to happen to you today or tomorrow, which I hope it doesn't, what would you do? And would you be prepared to get a replacement? And then like, think about it. Let's just say you got like, you have liability insurance, auto insurance, or you have full coverage insurance without the rental option. Think about it like this. If someone were to steal your car today and you file a police report and then your insurance claim goes through, one, the insurance companies are more than likely overworked and short-staffed. So the claims adjuster, it's going to probably take a week or two to get to you. And then you're going to have to sit in line, sit in the queue, a stack of papers on his desk, or, log in his computer, waiting to get processed. You're probably looking at a good 45, 60, maybe 90 days before the insurance company concludes their investigation. Now, we'll assume that the car isn't recovered in that time frame. So, at the end of this investigation, the claims adjuster will pay off the claim and pay off the car. If there's any money left, you'll get it. If not, there's nothing. It is what it is. And if you don't owe on the car, they'll just cut you a check directly. So you're looking at 90 days before that could happen if it's not recovered, if you have full coverage to cover it. 90 days. Most insurance policies, rental cars will last for 30 days. So you're looking at 2 months without a car. And if you don't have liability, then if you have only liability insurance and not full coverage, you're done. Like if your car's gone, it's gone. They're not paying you for it. Full coverage doesn't cover that. That's the comprehensive part of the insurance policy that's not included in liability. Liability is just collision. So, or it's just collision, or it really just protects you against uninsured motorists. I'm not sure which one it was. It's pretty much just to keep you legal on the road. But if you have liability, then you don't have a car. You don't have a rental car. So are you in a position to pay for a rental car? Does your rental car company even have cars available? Because I know a lot of businesses are using rental car companies to borrow their trucks and their cars for fleet vehicles because they weren't able to get them shipped from the dealers that they ordered because of all the delays and back orders and shortages on vehicles and trucks. So the question is, like, if this happens, this isn't food. This isn't an EMP. This isn't a cyber attack. This isn't a water shortage or a drought, which the lake here at Grand Teton, one of the lakes is like shut down because there's not enough water in it. But we're actually going to continue our trip. We got a long way to go, but we will get to Lake Mead because they have a serious drought issue, and which is ultimately going to affect the hydroelectric power supply that lake covers. So we will be on we will literally be boots on the ground on that one when we get to Lake Mead. We got a few days ahead of us before we get there. But there's so many things that we are preparing for. There's so much SHTF that we're preparing for. Don't forget, like, the basics and essentials that you need day to day to make this other stuff happen. And I know a lot of you may not like agree with credit scores or investing or the monetary system and cash and the U.S. dollar and et cetera, et cetera. But at the end of the day, you gotta play the game, and these are the pieces that you need to play the game. So I hate for you guys to wind up in a situation like Jeremy and just be completely SOL because of someone else negatively impacting your life and your livelihood. So I'll let you know how Jeremy works out. Probably be a few days before we get any real progress on it. And I'm traveling, so I'll just be back and forth on the phone with him a little bit and a few text messages. I got a friend over at this Ford dealership in Alpharetta. I'm gonna see if I can get him to help Jeremy out. He's a sales manager over there, and he's always been good to me. And maybe I can call in a favor or something. But yeah, being prepared is for more than just food, more than just water, more than just seeds and farming and you know water, rainwater collection and all that. It goes it goes in so many directions, and you never know what could happen. Like we were actually, I'll leave you guys with this last story. When we were in Mississippi, we were in Shaw, Mississippi, staying with our harvest host in it was a farm in Mississippi, and we staying with our harvest host, our first harvest host, while we're on this road trip. Side note, we've traveled like 2,300 miles so far. Pretty cool. And on our way out there, it was like hours to their farm, and there was like nothing on the way. And I said, what do y'all do if somebody gets hurt on the farm? Because it's like, yo, I don't know where the hospital is, but the amount of time it would take for them to get you, to then take you back there, probably like 2-3 hours at least. She's like, yeah, I know. And she goes, my husband, his name is Michael. And she's like, yeah, not too long ago, he was working on the gutters and he fell off the ladder and punctured his leg. I don't know what he punctured on, but she basically said like he split his leg open, like a long gash on his leg, like open on the side. And she's like, yep, I dropped everything. I wrapped him up with a tourniquet, threw him in the truck, and we raced to the hospital. And that's, she was prepared for some immediate first aid, which, if you guys aren't aware, there's a kit called an IFAC, which is an individual first aid kit. Those would be great to have in your prep package, an IFAC, IFAK, individual first aid kit. But she was prepared to get him somewhat situated to be transported by, dressing the wound and applying, first aid techniques. Didn't seem like she panicked. Like this lady, she's on it. She's on it. Like she's ready to go. I feel very confident in her abilities to survive. But then she just raced to the hospital, and she's like, "That's what we do." They don't make a habit of it, but if shit hits the fan, and they rely on the hospital for sure, but they don't rely on EMT. They don't rely on ambulance. They don't rely on 911 to save them because of the remote location, the rural location that they're at. They can't. It'll be too late. And then she also said because of where her farm is located, she'll because of where her farm is located, but the phone number associated with her cell phone causes her to reach, if she dials 911, causes her to reach the wrong county. So she's right on the line, but it calls her phone numbers from the other county. So it calls that county, and then they ask her address. So she tells her the address, and they go, well, you're not here. You need to call the other ones. So then she calls the other one, and then they go back and forth like, where are you calling from? She's like, I've done it before. It's a hassle, and I'm not gonna sit there and argue with these people on the phone when I need help. So I just do what I got to do. We get in the truck and we drive safely but quickly to the hospital. And if we get pulled over, we're gonna explain to the police officer what's going on, and hopefully he'll escort us to the hospital for safety. But honestly, out there ain't no cops. Ain't no cops. Not clocking. It's like 2 sheriff. Like that's it. And or sheriff and the deputy. That's it. And these are the things you got to be prepared for that most people aren't really thinking about when they talk about prepping. They talk about planting a garden on a homestead and growing food, which there's nothing wrong with that at all. I'm not knocking that. And, going out and stockpiling food and this, that, and the other. But there's so many other things that tie into being prepared and prepping for SHTF that we should all be mindful of and cognizant of. I'll try to put a list of some of these extra important things that usually don't make the list I'll put them up on a community post if I can get that done today so you guys can see. But either way, be safe, be smart, be prepared. And, you know, we never know what's going to happen tomorrow, but let's be prepared for as much as we possibly can be. And then, when shit hits the fan, be cool. Don't stress. Don't panic. Think about it. Think about a plan and act. Act responsibly, act rationally, and you should be a-okay. You should be fine. Thank you guys for watching. I appreciate it. I will try to bring you another video today and another update because there's a lot going on, and I know we all want to get caught up and be aware of some of this craziness that's going on in the world and in the news, but to better prepare ourselves. So I'll get back to you guys quickly. I do know that I need to talk to you about a major grocery store chain that's reporting some really, really scary stuff as far as the product that they're receiving, the products they're not receiving, and the quality of some of the products they're receiving, which is becoming an issue because, and I'll leave you guys after this, it's becoming an issue because you don't want to turn down food as, a grocery store, for sure. But some of this food is coming in questionable, which, if you turn it down, then you lose the opportunity for the sale of it and the profit of it from the revenues. And then you also create this empty shelves scenario and this panic, et cetera, et cetera. But are these stores feeding us things and putting things out for sale for us to buy and cook and consume and feed to our families that are questionable, that really shouldn't be making it to the shelves? I'm gonna bring that to you guys real soon. Have a good day. Take care. Be safe. And I'll talk to you guys later.